What's up guys, this is Rise and welcome to another video. This has been the most successful Holiday Cup team I have found, and some of my coaching students as well. I suggested this team that I came up with and they've been able to have a lot of success. One of my students climbed from around 2,000 to nearly 2,400 with this team, and one of my other students actually went on a 15-game winning streak with this team from the lower ranks. So a really solid team that covers a lot of the meta well, and I'll be going over some of my own gameplay with the squad. It's Alolan Marowak, Venusaur and Dewgong. Dewgong is Legacy, so you would need to spend an Elite Fast TM for Ice Shard and an Elite Charge TM for Icy Wind if you don't have a Dewgong built already. And yeah, it's not like an unbeatable team or anything. There's certainly some matchups that are tough for it, but overall, it's been pretty consistent for me and has been fun to use as well. 3 Pokemon that I think are pretty fun and pretty versatile as well, which fits my style. We're going up against Jangles in this first battle, who's a terrific battler. He makes a beautiful sack swap, beautiful catch, I should say, on his shiny Lickitung to catch our Shadow Bone, but this actually kind of does me a favor because my other 2 Pokemon struggle against Lickitung, and this allows me to line up a pretty hard counter with my Vigoroth here. So I'm going for another Body Slam. This way I can counter down and only take 1 more Body Slam myself, and I'll come out with about 2 Body Slams worth of energy. So I'm getting ready to hit Body Slam if the Golbat comes, and Jangles makes a really nice read here that I'm probably going to do that. So he comes in with the Coffagrigus, absorbs the Body Slam like it's nothing. I'm going to throw a Bulldoze here. And here I go for Body Slam. I wasn't sure if I would quite reach the Bulldoze, so I just go for Body Slam for chip, and I actually get a shield, which is amazing. It looks like I'm not sure. I might have gotten to that Bulldoze if I had committed to it. So, but same result essentially. And here I come in with the whack and I don't shield, hoping that he was going to Dark Pulse bait, and that's exactly what happened. Because I already know it's a Golbat, I was thinking 2 shields for Dewgong is the way. The Coffin gets KO'd just as it got to a move, and I'm actually going to let this first move go through since I know it's most likely a Poison Fang bait. And this allows me to take the win. Yeah, no reason for me to shield, to be honest, on that first move, because I feel like the loose con is getting baited and debuffed and then allowing him to get to a Shadow Ball or something. But even if I take a Shadow Ball, I'm still not debuffed, and I can just Ice Shard all the way down. Anyway, on to the next game. And Obstagoon is a pretty tough lead for this team, but don't fret, young Grasshopper, if you see it. It's workable. So we swap our Vig after storing up some energy, doing some chip damage, and in comes his opposing Vigoroth. And I actually get a shield, which is really nice. So he wants to keep switch, but that shield kind of does me a favor. I sneak in a Fire Spin here. I'm going to respect the Bulldoze, and luckily we don't get baited. Going for a Bone Club here. Want to get rid of this Vig before it gets to another Bulldoze. So going to farm up some extra here. Store up a second Bone Club and then throw. And I know the Obstagoon, I believe, was Energy Dry. So I'm actually going to Bone Club and then Bone Club again. The Goon barely lives, so we aggressively swap into Dewgong. Not knowing what's in back, it's going to come down to whatever's in back, and it's a Wiggly. And this is really good for us. Whenever you can switch lock something against Dewgong, it's always so good, especially in endgame scenarios, because you're going to be able to debuff. They're not going to be able to clear the debuff. This puts us in a really comfortable position. They do sneak in a Charm, but I think we're looking okay, because our Marowak has about much health, and now it has more health than the Wiggly. So we're just going to be able to Fire Spin down, Bone Club the Goon, And our opponent elects just not to throw the move because they knew that one Fire Spin would KO the Obstagoon anyway. So G to the G. Now we're going up against Thunder Cypher, who's a supporter of the channel. Shout out Thunder Cypher. Swap into Vig. In comes Venusaur. And this is like what I love with this team, is when they counter Vig with a Venusaur. Because you're going to see how I play this situation. I am going to let them hit me with a Frenzy, knowing I'll be able to survive it. And this Body Slam will either give me switch advantage or shield advantage. And I get shield advantage, which honestly I prefer, because now I can just Fire Spin this thing down, and Marowak is going to have shield and energy advantage against the Sableye. And then Dewgong with shields will hopefully be able to put in some work. So I get off the Shadow Bone. Sableye still not at a foul play. Shadow Bone does some nice damage. I swap Dewgong, and look at this. I'm just remembering this now. He swaps Vig. It's a scratch Vig. It is not counter. It is scratch. And this makes this matchup a lot better. He surrenders. He hopped in the Twitch chat afterwards. It was like, man, I was locked in the wrong Vigoroth. Dang it. So that was really funny when it happened on stream. But even if it's a counter Vig, I think we're in a pretty decent spot, because we can probably just save shields for whack, chip the Vig with Dewgong, farm down, and then with loaded energy, I think Marowak with 2 shields would be able to close out that game. Terrific lead here against A9. In comes Mantine, and feel free to pause. Actually, no, you don't have to pause the video. You could just keep the video rolling in the background, go microwave some popcorn, grab a snack, because our opponent is going straight Bubble Beam and we are going straight Icy Wind. We're just going to keep debuffing each other. Look how cute these two Pokemon are, by the way. The little Manta Ray, the little Dewgong. Just keeps Bubble Beaming me. Probably should have thrown my Icy Wind before that last Bubble Beam, but I mean, I want as much farm as possible, so that's kind of why I didn't. And I know I'm going to get hit by at least 2 more Bubble Beams here, but I don't really care. You see how little they do? And I just want to make sure I come out of this with 100 energy. And I'm probably going to give up switch advantage and save that energy for later. So I'm expecting the A9 to come in, and rather than just letting it completely charm me down and take my debuffed moves, I swap into my Vigoroth. I get a shield, very nice. I sneak in a counter. Kind of a weird visual there. It looked like a sneak, but I think our opponent just lagged a turn. Don't get to the next Body Slam, unfortunately. Also, this is a good, like, high-level, advanced learning opportunity. Normally, you want to throw after 1 counter. But in this situation, where I'm not going to get to another Body Slam by doing that, what I should have done here, actually, was throw on alignment. So I should have thrown after 3 counters, given myself the opportunity for a denial. And if I get the denial, I think I get to another Body Slam here. You'll see it right here. I throw after 1 counter, which is normally the correct thing to do. But if I had thrown after 3, I give the chance for a denial. And I would have got to that Body Slam if I got the denial. It would have been a coin flip. But we wait out our full switch clock here. Don't want to switch lock AWAC against something. In comes Diggersby, which is a little scary, but we have all this energy stored on Dewgong. I'm going to be able to double Icy Wind, which will double debuff the Diggersby. And after these 2 debuffs, the hard-hitting move from Diggersby might not even be enough to KO. Hyper Beam barely doesn't KO. One Mud Shot does the rest. But now Marowak can just close this thing out. It's almost in Bone Club range. A couple Fire Spin should do the trick. And A9 is toast. So, in hindsight, saving all that energy on Dewgong ended up clinching the win. But honestly, if I just... You see me just kind of trolling there. Just stop tapping for a second. Even if I had just let Dewgong go, chipped away at Ninetales, kept AWAC on Ninetales, Vig on Diggersby, I would have won anyway. So either play would have worked in that situation. Just a favorable team comp. Going up against Exchange Player. AWAC versus Shadow Lapras. Tough lead because it kind of beats AWAC. It depends on the shield scenario. It depends on sneaks and stuff. We do sneak in a Fire Spin, which is really nice. And I win CMP here. Looks like I got a denial, or this was CMP. So I'm going to shield again, because I could need AWAC for something in back, potentially. And this Lapras will get here one fast move before me, so I actually decided to catch on my Dewgong. Which normally you don't want to do this, because you don't want to switch lock Dewgong against Lapras, but they swap in Vig. I go for the denial here, but unfortunately, I think he snuck in an invisible counter. And yeah, you see the damage all register there. So we just barely don't get to the second IC when that would have been huge for us. And I'm debating, what do I want to come in with? What do I want to come in with? I go for Marowak. I'm not sure if there's any point in me throwing this Bone Club, to be honest, because... because now I have less energy. And then Trevenant comes in. And we're kind of screwed. So, yeah, the only way I could have won that game was if I had made a different decision there in the end game. If I had absorbed 2 Body Slams on Vig rather than the Bulldoze on AWAC. Would have been able to win this game, I think, because I would have just been able to Shadow Bone the Trev unless our opponent made like a terrific sack swap. So a tough one there, kind of like semi-hard countered. Kind of like soft countered all the way through. And we take the L. But a winnable game nonetheless, if I had just made a different decision there in the end game. And people do tend to pair Grass with Lapras, since Lapras is kind of weak to Rock. So knowing that, I probably should have just taken the energy on Vig. Our opponent swaps in Marowak. We're kind of desynced here. Going for a Shadow Bone. All 3 of my Pokemon are like fairly neutral against Marowak. You've got the Mirror, you've got Vig, which will only be able to threaten with the Bulldoze, but is also only threatened by Fire Spin damage and not really any charge moves. Unless they're running Fire Blast, of course, which some people are. I was thinking about the shield for a second. I'm like, nah, that's all right. That would have been really bad if we shielded a Bone Club. And then, check this out. Our opponent, I think, makes a bit of a mistake. They're probably trying to catch the Bulldoze. But what this is going to allow me to do is get off 2 Body Slams and then get a big farm down with my Marowak, which will put my opponent in a really bad spot. You see me stop tapping there for a split second to give myself a little bit more farm here, probably an extra Fire Spin. And now I've got all this energy. Opposing Marowak comes in. We've got 2 Shadow Bones to take this thing out. Shields the first, going for the second right away. Get a couple of denials. Shadow Bone takes it out. In comes Litleo. Could have theoretically like Bone Clubbed here first and then Water Pulsed. but we're in a pretty comfortable spot. We still have a shield. Still, Leo somehow needs to, like, flame charge, farm down, get off 2 moves against AWAC. It just wasn't happening, and our opponent realizes that, so they surrender, and we take the win. And I believe that is the end of the set. We go 4-1 at 2588. We get a Fortress, the Mighty Fort. My buddy Speedy's signature Pokemon. We can fast forward through this, see what our ELO goes to. 2631, not too shabby. Since these battles, I have actually hit an expert rank, but am right around that expert range. I'm at like 2751 or something right now. So slow and steady, no need to rush the legend push, the legend climb, but we're on our way, and we'll try and do it when we can and have some fun. So, hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'd very much appreciate it. Comment down below. All comments help the YouTube algorithm, helps our videos get on people's recommended feeds. And subscribe if you are new, as we're approaching 28,000. It'd be cool if we could hit that. Maybe before the new year, 28,000, then give us 30,000 as a goal in the early few weeks of January. So yeah, thank you guys so much. This team has been really successful for me and for coaching students in the Holiday Cup, so I do recommend it to you. Remember that there are some elite TM legacy moves, so don't go TMing your Dewgong 100 times wondering why you're not getting Icy Wind. It is a legacy move. All that said, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.